everybody, what's up? Circus here, coming at you with this week's power rankings. Joining me this week, as always, is Kamell. How you doing?
What's up? I am chilling, guys. How you doing?
I can't wait to get to it because there was definitely a shakeup in the meta this week. Everybody says the meta's old, it's stale. I'm saying you're not paying attention. That's all I'm saying. But if you're new to the series, what we do here is we track tournaments throughout the week. We see how the decks perform, and then we assign them points on based on how they finish, and then we rank them. So if a deck gets a first place finish, it gets 6 points. If it gets a second place finish, it's 4 points. A top 4 is 2 points, and then a top 8 is a single point. The tournaments we tracked this week, there were 9 of them, and what's great, I'll get into it, is they all reported their data, their overall data, the top 32 data. It's great. So the numbers this week are just outstanding. The data is just awesome.
It's the power rankings, man. They all want to be on the power rankings.
Right. So we got the Battle Phase series. We had a Battle Phase pop up this week or this past week, so that was great. The Meta Weekly, the Meta Championship series, the Pharaoh's Cash tournament, and then the one at the bottom I think is a swear word in another language, so I'm not even going to say that out loud.
Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure it is. So
It's something cup. I don't even know how to pronounce it.
yeah, you don't say it out loud. The Google translator I saw, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we're not saying that out loud. All right, so getting into it here. Let's see who won. And in first place this week, is it Shiranui? It's got 33 points. What's it going to be? Is it going to be Shiranui? Is it Witchcrafters? Is it, what is it? Neos. Neos Invoked.
Yeah, man. Neos Invoked has really popped off this week. And Witchcrafters second. This may be the last time that Witchcrafters is this high on the list,
Yep.
but more on that when we cover the deck. But first, Neos.
Yeah, let's get into it. I do want to point out Infernity down on the list at number 8. Just saying, everybody getting excited about that. Weather Painters down there. Blackwings in 10th, by the way.
Yikes.
Ouch. All right, so first place, Neos. Look at all these wins this past week. Everybody definitely getting in on the deck. Lots of it's got a win and just tons of top 8s on top of it.
Runner-ups as well. It's runner-up in the Meta Week, PCT, and Battle Phase Pop-Up Tournament. And that is because Neos Invoked right now is probably one of the most consistent decks, and I surely think that it is probably one of the most consistent Invoked decks. It is very powerful. The main deck's counter traps, and it can easily use them because it brings back the volcanic shell to the hand that you can use for discard fodder with your counter traps, so that you always have a fire monster in the grave to make Invoked Purgatrio, as well as the Neos engine, dumping the initial volcanic shell so that you can begin the chain to lose life points. So you can activate your skills, switcheroo. Every part of the deck works well together, and that's what you need for an invoked variant to pop off. It's happened with Elementsabers, but Neos has been especially popping off because of its access to counter traps in the main deck.
Yeah, Neos has been on kind of an adventure right now. A couple weeks ago, it was in 4th place, and last week it was like in 8th or 9th place. This week in 1st place, so I think people are starting to catch on. Like, hey, this has definitely got the spice, and you'll see. All the numbers are going to be up this week on conversion rates just because everybody reported, all the tournaments reported. It was great. These numbers are insane. But look at this overall representation of 126.
That is a lot. And
Yes.
you know why that is a lot? It is because Invoked Neos is a very accessible deck. If you have the Invoked engine and you have the Neo structure deck, you've got this deck. So anyone can get in there. Honestly, these are 2 engines that I do not think will be hit on the ban list anytime soon. So if you're looking for a deck that is extremely competent in the tournament scene, invoke Neos. I think that is the way you want to go.
Well, look at that conversion, top 8 conversion rate of 10%. That's really good.
Yeah, that's good for a deck that has 126 representation. Usually the other decks we see like that, Shiranui, they've got the 120 plus conversion rate, but I mean the representation, but then they have like a 3% conversion rate.
Okay, so I do want to just reiterate one more time, like the changes per week is going to be way up because last week Uh, the tournaments not all the tournaments report their overall in their top 32. This week, everybody did. Everybody did is great. So everything's like way up. All the percentages are all way up. So you got to take those with a grain of salt. But the actual numbers, like the top 32, 35, the top 8, 13, those are all legit. So that'll tell you a little bit. So the 10% to the top 8, the 28 to the top 32, those are all real hard factual numbers. So that's great seeing these this week. So keep that in mind.
And so just one last thing about Invoke Neos. While it does seem very, very powerful, what we've come to see in tournaments is that this deck has a critical weakness to battle traps, right? A lot of the time you use your counter traps to negate your opponent's win condition, and I think the biggest fault that I've seen this deck have is to battle traps. Wall of D, drowning, stuff like that. This deck doesn't really have a way to play around it once it uses its counter traps to stop you. So,
well, two Cosmic Cyclone can go a long way.
Two Cosmic Cyclone can indeed go a long way,
especially with how quickly this deck can pop off.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now in second place, this is a deck. It kept moving up every week. It kept moving up, but now it's stuck. It's plateaued. It got second place last week. It's second place this week. I don't think we're ever going to see it in first place, especially now after it's been nerfed.
And take a look at Witchcrafters. The first post-ban list tournament was Battleface Friday, the PCT, and the Meta Weekly. Tell me, Circus, I don't see any placements from those tournaments on Witchcrafters' list.
Well, it got first in the Meta Weekly, but the Meta Weekly was before.
Yes.
It was before. So the Meta Championship Series is what you're thinking of. So
yes, MCS, yeah.
The
sorry,
MCS, yeah.
Yeah, so all of the tournaments that happened after the ban list was announced and enforced immediately, Witchcrafters do not have any results. All of these results are pre-ban list. And just to reiterate, Ryan did a very good video breaking it down. You should definitely watch that. But Witchcrafters took a vital hit on the adding Witchcrafter Holiday to the limited 3 list, which means that they have to take 3 cards out of their deck, and they can no longer use the Lightsworn engine to its full effectiveness, right? And that change was quickly seen in tournaments. You can see no results from the tournaments that implemented those rules. So
yeah, this might be the last time you see them on here. They might be showing up in Rogue decks next week. We'll see how it goes. I guess we'll look at the conversion rates here. Like we said, this is all pre-ban list, but again, everything's way up. Overall rep 108, top 32s up, conversion rates up, everything. Except the conversion rate to the top 8 is down a couple of percentage points, but
yeah, Witchcrafters were seen right before this ban list as the go-to big brain deck that could do everything as long as you know how to play the deck. But now, not so much until they find a better way to reach those same results.
That Holiday, that was the one. I mean, they could have hit either of the other spells, the Collaboration or the Unveiling, and they would have survived. But the Holiday, I mean, that's huge. Yeah,
it's integral to each and every monster's effect in the deck. So when you lose that, you lose so much.
Yeah, it was such a big hit. It doesn't seem like it when you first look at it. It's like, oh, Holiday to 3, and then it's like, oh wait, oh shit, Holiday to 3.
Ugh.
All right, moving on to third place here. Elementsabers, good old standby. This is the deck I think everybody's when they talk about the meta, they're like, oh, the meta's been the same for a year. It's stale. This is what they're thinking of right here. This is a loaf of crusty bread at this point.
So interesting. Elementsabers did win the MCS yesterday. Edu16 won. PDS said they might be working on an interview with him, so stay tuned for that. But
nice.
Edu, very good player, world-class player, using Elementsabers, using what is tried and true in the MCS.
Yep.
Elementsabers have been falling off, resurging every now and then. So Elementsabers being played against the best decks and the best players in Duel Links in the MCS, that should speak to its effectiveness in the meta right now, albeit nothing has really changed for the deck in a while.
Well, it can get out Purgatrio pretty quick, and it can take advantage of all the traps. It's got plenty of room in the deck for, look at that, 3 Phoenix Chain, 2 Canada, Ballista Squad. I mean, when you have that much room in your deck just to throw all those traps, you can sit and stall all day. and then get into your power play, which is into the Purgatrio. So the
Right, and it's very easy to side deck when you're playing Elementsabers. You never have to remove anything that's integral to your win condition. You can simply just swap out back row for spells, traps, whatever you need to counter your opponent. So,
well, if you look at the Performa Pal video that we put out, it's basically the same idea. You just use your back row to stall until you get into your win con. Unfortunately, the Performa Pals doesn't really have a very good win con like Purgatrio, but it just proves that this kind of back row can keep you alive long enough to get into your win con. And if you have a strong one like Purgatrio, you're going to do fine.
right, that's right.
All right, moving on. This is here you go. Heroes never die. Winning the look at this though, they won the battle phase pop-up and the PCT, so 2 strong victories. And if you look at their other stuff, it's a second place, a top 4, and then a top 8. But if you drop that top 8, yeah, if you drop that top 8, I mean that's 4 top 4 finishes. I mean this was
2 tournament wins. Heroes definitely did good, and they popped off in a post ban list tournament. The PCT Pharaoh's Cash tournament, 3 out of the top 8 decks were heroes. So something to note. If you've got heroes, give them a try.
Yeah. And let's see here. Checking out the conversion rates.
Their representation was very low, only 37. That's just goes to show how much they have kind of fallen off in popularity lately. But their conversion rate is very good. 43% into the top cut, 14 into top 8. Nice.
And we're gonna switch back to E-Sabers quick because we didn't do the conversion rates on them, but we'll get them real quick. Look at that overall representation, 91, so that's pretty high. Conversion rate 22 into the top 32, and then 5% to the top 8. So not bad for such an old deck. And then the last deck we're gonna cover, 5th place, the deck that won't die, but Kamell does not have to eat his hat this week.
Don't, baby.
Shiranui dropping 4 spots to 5th place, but look at all those tops.
Look at those tops, but when we look at the conversion rate, that's when I'm really going to be vindicated because everyone who's been talking on me, they can go eat it after this.
But look at all those traps. It's just ridiculous. The traps and the spells, man.
That is why like Shiranui and Gouki are 2 sides of the same coin. But people don't like Gouki because they're a back row deck. Man, Shiranui's a back row deck too.
Right. 100%. But I think it's a little bit stronger of a back row deck.
It is. It is.
It's got a better win con. Okay, let's check out this representation and conversion rates here. It's ridiculous. 132 people played the deck. Conversion rate of 27%. Conversion rate to the top 8, 5%. Actually down a little bit. So this was definitely the most played deck as expected.
132 to 13. I mean to 35. Okay, so 35 did top at 132, and they only got 14 points this week.
Right.
Come on. Stop defending Shiranui. It's not worth it.
Yeah. It's going to be a rogue deck pretty soon. All right. We'll do at a glance here. Top 8 finishes this week. First place is Neos with 13 top 8 finishes, followed by Witchcrafters with 7, Shiranui with 7, and then you can kind of see the rest kind of dwindle off there. Infernity, 3 top 8s.
Yeah, so pretty. We're doing that. Just one. Do we have honorable mentions?
Oh no! Did you want to mention one?
Oh, I just wanted to mention the 2 new box decks, Infernity and Painter, both picked up tournament wins in Battle Phase Monday and Battle Phase EU by the likes of Shiny Sophion and Luke Tyler. I interviewed Shiny Sophion. That video is on the channel. Go check it out. And Luke Tyler's working on a Weather Painter video, and I'm going to try to get one with him as well. So very good players did win those tournaments with those new box decks. If you're interested in those decks, go check out the tournament results from them. They're also in the Discord. Their winning decks are. So yeah.
Yeah, so Neos, the top of the top 8 finishes. Top conversion rate this week will go to Cyber Dragons at 17%. Now, not all decks can qualify for the top conversion rate. You have to have at least 20 people playing the deck in a week. It just seems fair that way because sometimes it's like Dragunities that have like 5, and then they're like, like 50 or 75%. And it's like, well, it's just like 2 guys playing the deck. So you have to have at least 20 attempts into in a tournament. But Cyber Dragon, Heroes, Neos, Witchcrafters, Infernity, Blackwings, Elementsabers. And then the most victories in the week, Heroes and Witchcrafters with 2 apiece, Elementsabers with 2, Neos, Infernity, and Weather Painters. So there you go.
So guys, take the power rankings into account. Take into account that Witchcrafters will be falling off in
Yes.
the coming weeks. So just playing around that when you enter a tournament.
But yeah, honorable mentions, like you're saying, Infernity and Weather Painters, both in 8th and 9th position on the power rankings. That's not bad for a deck or 2 decks coming from a box that everybody says was doo-doo, that was no good, and people complaining that the meta is stale, that the game is, boring or whatever. Look at this top 10 here. You got Neos, Witchcrafters, Heroes, E-Sabers, Shiranui, Dark Magician, Cyber Dragon, Infernities, Weather Painters, Blackwings, Yusenjus. Come on, I mean, there is variety. Yes, these decks have been around for a while, but if you're someone that put a lot of gems into a deck, you should be happy.
Yeah, you should be playing it, man.
Right.
Make people eat their words when they say the meta's stale and your deck's not good. If your deck is just the least bit competent in the tournament format, you can make it succeed like some of these good players have.
Well, you guys got to remember what you're seeing here, the power rankings. You have to get into a top 8 in a tournament just to even be here. There's 17 decks on the screen that did that in this past week. So you can't tell me that the meta is boring or stale. Some of these decks are punching through and getting that tournament victory, but you're going to get top cut. You're going to get into the top 8 with any one of these 17 decks that are on the screen. So, I mean, yes, a lot of times it's the same decks winning the tournaments, but hey, if you can get to the top 2 like we saw with Yusenjus, I mean, come on. You can't tell me that the meta's stale. Come on.
Exactly.
All right, so I hope you guys liked my little rant at the end. And if you like the video in general, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and Discord. Because if you're in the Discord, that's where we announce all of our tournaments, our free tournaments. And what else? We got one coming up, a big one, don't we, Kamell?
Yes, we have the YouTube Celebration Tournament link in the description and in the Discord. It will send you to a link where you will have to join the Discord and follow us on Twitch to sign up. So yeah, just make sure anyone can enter any deck, $100 cash prize. Going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you sign up for that and tune into the stream on Twitch. It'll be next Saturday, August 15th, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Nice. And make sure to check out Gamersupps. You can use the link in the description below. You can get 10% off if you use the code DLE. It's good stuff. We all like it. I hope you do too. So I hope you like this video, and we're going to see you next time for the power rankings. I'm Circus, and that's Kamell.
Peace out, guys.
All right, see ya.